future of the telecoms industry now depends on all of you. We all know that the problem is the lack of telecoms towers. Well, the President has assured us that number one, there is now a green lane for all telecoms, for the construction of all telecoms towers. And he has instructed everyone, all local government units, to approve all applications concerning telecoms towers within 2 weeks. Otherwise, he will take punitive actions against the LGUs. In fact, the Anti-Red Tape Commission has now taken steps against LGUs that have delayed the issuance of the necessary permits. I guess the primary message of the President is we need to improve telecoms in order to reach developed state status by 2042. But unless we take bold and revolutionary moves, the duopoly would resist any and all forms of reforms. So the future of the modernization of our telecoms industry depends on you contractors, because the telecom towers that you will build will be key to finally improving our telecoms industry. But first, let me thank you all on behalf of the President. For 4 straight years prior to the pandemic, we had phenomenal and unprecedented growth of in excess of 6% per year. In fact, we were expecting to be classified already as a medium income country had not the pandemic struck. We expect to be delayed because of the consequence of the pandemic, but not for long, because from all indications, after the economy contracted by 12% last year, we're now looking at 4 to 5% positive growth rate this year, despite the fact that the pandemic is still in our midst. We expect pre-pandemic economic growth in 2022. So let's just say that the whole world was delayed in their process of economic development, but in the Philippines, we were delayed only by about a year, because the reality is by 2022, we will be back on track. But before I continue, I'd like to bring Mandy and Chenta of the UCDC. Attorney Ferdinand Ancheta of UCDC. Also Federico Quim Jr. of SMI. Engineer Martin Encabo of UCDC. So Harry Usman of UCDC. And my Auntie Helen, who is also a pillar of solar. I'd like to thank you too, because the construction industry is what held the economy together at the height of the pandemic. I recall that as spokesperson for the IATF, one major decision made by the IATF was the build program should not be stalled by the pandemic. And that is why, as you know, despite the fact that there was a pandemic, we allowed the construction industry to continue, subject to observance of minimum health standards, subject to housing requirements, and subject to shuttling requirements. But because of you, although the economy contracted, the build, buttressed the effect of the pandemic, meaning the economy could have shrunk further, the economy could have contracted further, had it not been for the build, and the construction industry. Thank you very much. I'd also like to thank you because you made the build program of the President of the Duterte administration a resounding success. Never before has any administration allotted this much funds for the infrastructure building. But the President, from the very beginning of his term, decided that he will use public infrastructure spending as a means of stimulating the economy. And because of all the cooperation of our contractors, we succeeded in this regard. Thank you very much again. The challenge, of course, is we have about 6 months left in this administration. although the Build program continues. Congress only recently approved a 5 trillion budget, clearly still the biggest budget to be enacted by the Philippine government in history. And again, the Build program enjoys a hefty portion of the budget. In your hand lies again the success of the Build project, because it is through your dedication, it is through your professionalism, and it is through your commitment to honor your contracts that the Build will succeed, not just in the next 6 months, but also in the coming year. Thank you very much to all of you. But while there are many reasons to thank the construction industry, there is also a plea from the President. I was once a congressman. Alam ko mga SOP na yan. Buti na lang party list congressman ako at wala akong district engineer reporting to me. Buti na lang, ninakaw ng mga district congressman ang lahat ng kita sa lahat ng proyekto na aking in-sponsor. So my conscience is clear. Pero mga walang kaya pa rin yung mga district congressman. But we all know how much is lost through corruption. Kung si congressman can get 10%, at kasama na rin dyan si senator, at yung DPWH, kikita pa ng another 5 to 8%. At syempre, meron pang private na kontratista, easily about 30% to 40% of the project cost is lost through corruption and income profit margin. Can you imagine if we invest 40% of every project cost wholly to the project? You know, corruption is double-bladed. Walang corrupt kung walang mangungurap. But I understand that it is systemic. In fact, people told me, if you don't accept it, someone else will benefit. True enough, it was a district congressman that benefited. Happy na rin ako sa kanila. Kasi ngayon tatakbo ko ng Senado. Siguro naman, hindi nila kakalimutan ako dahil ninakaw nila ang mga projects ko. But the reality is, we need to change. I was in Cebu yesterday, and I will be in Siargao